This message is called A Father Will Say, Walk This Far With Me. And again, those of you that have been following the story of Regina, the historical story of Regina, you know that in July of 2005, where I was North Carolina. It was my first month in North Carolina. So it was my first month of not having a job, not earning money. For the first time since I was like 15, that I was not earning money. And also for the first time since I was about, 22, I was not putting money in the bank or investing money. Suddenly, instead of watching that account balance go up, 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 I was now in the process, the beginning of watching it go down, down, down. And that scared the crap out of me. No kidding. Every time I paid a bill, I practically had a panic attack. Couldn't hardly breathe. That terrified me. And a lot of fear around this time period. So let's see what this particular message says. Questioner. That would be me, of course. Holy Spirit, you have asked me to give everything to you. And I want so much to do that because I want to learn the truth is true. And I want to know the complete freedom of the truth. I want to know what Jesus knew with the confidence that he had. And I want to be a symbol of true hope for the world. I want so much to give everything to you. But where I find the temptation to hold back is when I think about the protection of the bodies of Jasmine and Regina. That's where the most fear seems to come in. What if I can't trust you with that, and we suffer? Or what if I don't understand correctly, and because of misthoughts in my mind, we suffer? So again, I'm just beginning. I mean, really, the bank account hadn't gone down far. We're still in the first month here. But I'm just beginning to watch this account that's been going up, 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 start its downward trend. And I'm thinking, what if I'm wrong here? You know, what if I can't trust you? Or what if it's not that I can't trust you, it's just that I'm wrong, I'm misunderstanding. And you know, in either way, what ends up happening is, you know, all I can say is financial disaster. My mind did not get into specifics of whether that meant that Jasmine and I were on the streets or what, but something horrible. Something horrible caused by lack of money. That was my fear. And I'm just not sure, Holy Spirit, I can trust you with that. Because I've always trusted Regina to take care of us, and she's really always done a pretty good job. And now you're asking me to shift that trust from Regina to you, and I'm scared. I'm real scared. All right? So this is where I'm at. Here's the Holy Spirit's answer. You ask me if you can trust me, really trust me. And you know that if you are to learn that you can, you must let go. And yet you are afraid to let go until you know you can trust. Do not fear, my child. I understand your fears, and they do not concern me. To me, they are but the fears of a frightened child who has not yet learned the difference between reality and her frightened imagination. And I am like a loving father who would guide you to learn that you need not fear. And I will not attempt to teach you by frightening you. For if I chose that method of teaching, you would not learn, and your fears would last longer. Those last two sentences alone were alone. I can't speak tonight. Those last two sentences alone were very, very comforting to me. Because again, my fear was some kind of financial disaster that's going to hurt like hell. And what I understood from these last two sentences, Holy Spirit said, there's no way I'm going to let that happen. Because I want you to learn trust. And if I let something like that happen, you're only going to learn fear. I mean, that's the way I heard that. Holy Spirit said, there's no way, because my purpose is for you to learn trust. So I'm not going to scare the crap out of you. And I felt really good about that. I trusted that. So that alone, now I could breathe a little better. And then Holy Spirit continues. Give me the trust that you can. That is all I ask. If you can take my hand and walk so far, but not too far as yet, then let's walk so far together. You will learn from that little walk that you can trust more, and we will walk further. But I do ask that you walk with me as far as you can and not stop short of your seeming limit. For if you stop well within your defined boundaries of safety, you will never learn that you can trust me. You must give me your trust to learn that you can trust me. Do not withhold it by protecting yourself completely. So what he's really asking me to do, maybe I'm not ready to completely jump off a cliff yet without a parachute or anything. Maybe I'm not ready for that. But maybe I'm ready to jump off a hill. And I don't feel perfectly safe about jumping off the hill, I mean, to ask me to jump off of a footstool, that wouldn't be enough of a jump, because I feel totally safe jumping off of a footstool. So he's saying, don't do that. At least jump off the hill. The hill scares you somewhat, but you're not terrified. Jump off the hill. And you're going to find that I'm going to give you a parachute there. And as you jump, then you'll jump off a bigger hill, and you'll find you get another parachute. And pretty soon you're going to be ready to jump off the cliff. What he's teaching me is that surrender is a stepped process. When I do an honest surrender and honestly trust, what I learn from that, from the Holy Spirit who wants me to learn trust, is that I can trust. I learn that something appears in some way. It works out. It's okay. I learn that I can trust in some way. And so then I'm willing to surrender more, because now I trust more. And this is what he's saying. But if I never, ever, ever take a jump off the first hill, I'm never going to learn. Because the only way to really learn trust is by giving the opportunity for trust to prove itself to me. So I do have to take those first steps. Here was my question. So how far can I go now? And how do I know if I'm walking that far with you or stopping within my defined boundaries of safety? And here's what Holy Spirit said. A father will say, walk this far with me. He will point to a place in the dark and say, let's walk this far together and rest there before we go on. And the child may at first be frightened of walking even that far. But as she looks at that point in the darkness, she comes to realize that she can see that far, and it might be okay. So she gives her consent and takes those first steps with her father. And then when she is ready, she gives her consent to walk further to the next point in the darkness. And I could see that as well. I could see how there may be fear about going to the first point, but something inside would say, okay, well, just that far is okay. So that would be like jumping off the hill. And so I agree to go that far. And then when I go that far, because I learned that it was okay, I will agree to go further. But then the Holy Spirit says, do not try to decide now how long or short your stay may be at the first point I am taking you to. Be willing to trust me as quickly as you can and move on. Always continue to give me your willingness as quickly as you can. So he's going to take me to this first point that I'm afraid to go to. And when we get there, we're going to rest. But he's saying, when we rest, let's rest only as long as it takes for you to get ready to take the next step. Let's not, what is the word? Dally? Yeah, let's not dally along. He knows my heart. I know you want to move along as quickly as possible, so let's move along as quickly as possible. And then he says, For now, step to the point I have asked you to step to, and from there we will go to the next point.